Biggest takeaway from the mastermind, how it's been, any experiences from there?
This morning walking on the beach, I was thinking about like what we do differently here, and I wish that I figured it out so much sooner, is the ecosystem of content. I realized that I get really great results with client attraction in person. And I was thinking, why is that? Well, I share my stories here face to face, but no one knows about that online. And so the big thing for me here is the ecosystem and creating content and a system that flows through, the content and where we want people to go. So then they connect with us and they go, man, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see this as being a game changer.
There's been a lot, but I think the biggest bottleneck, Darren talks about like leads, sales, delivery. Mine is leads. And I think off the back of that, I'm just not making enough content, and it's such an obvious thing that's like staring me in the face, and I'm like, yeah, I just got to make more content. There's just a lot of basic things that I need to cover, like landing pages, like thumbnails and things like that, but I think just activity is the thing that I've been lacking.
I can't give you one.
You can give me a few if you want.
There are just so many. Like, I came in with kind of zero expectations in this mastermind, and it's been like literally delivering. It's mind blowing. I don't know where to begin, but definitely highlights were Lara and James for sure. Great talks. I didn't expect it in 2 hours. They can deliver so much value.
So I think the biggest unlock is usually the accountability piece. I think you know what to do, and your own biggest blocker, you're getting in your own way. So yes, there's been a lot of stuff that's helped me kind of refine my approach. You learn from people who are better than you in certain aspects, because no one can do it all. But then I think ultimately when I go down the tree of accountability, like, it just stops with me. And now I need to just get out of my own way and really crank up the volume and the intensity on what I'm doing. I think it has also been when one person teaches, two people learn. Right? So I think you've probably felt that today. I felt that today as well. And we're all helping each other. So yes, we're all here as teachers, students. It's quite nice to wear the other hat, to be honest, for me, because usually I'm the one teaching and giving the workshops. So it's quite nice to be the one who absorbs by osmosis the wisdom of others. So it's been really, really good.
I actually wrote something down in my notes. I've got about, probably 200 or 400 bullet points of stuff that I've been able to take away, so it's pretty hard to get one. But at 6:48 on the first day, Darren said, I can teach you anything. And I don't know, that just instilled a heap of belief in me, and then I just started taking more and more notes and stuff like that. For where I am in my journey, I guess, I still haven't crafted my offer or anything like that, but I think with everything that I've learned, knowing the frames that I have to take or the direction that I have to go, it's going to make it easier in the long run. For when I am thinking about it, I can think about it on a bit deeper level instead of just going, this is my offer, I'm going to help people plant trees or whatever, and then try and build the framework around it. I've already been given the framework and understand it, so I'll be able to craft something better. It's like a bit of a reverse engineering type of scenario. I think that's the biggest thing that I've taken away from it, because I was really, really lost before coming, and now that I've got this framework, I'm like, okay, this is how I need to think about it instead of just kind of throwing stuff and hoping it sticks.
Do more?
I was just talking to Darren about it. Like, I'm at the point now where it's like you're past the growth and you're into scale. It's just like tweaking very small things, and it's like throughput. So that's kind of where we're at. Like, just scale the shit out of this and see what breaks.
I'm a little bit different to most of the people here because I've already got offer and I've been in business for 5 years. But just seeing all three of Darren, James, Lara, the ways in which they've built their businesses and built the way they make money, they're very different. However, you can take the little bit. So for example, Lara is very big on sticking to the one platform. And then doing the reps, being consistent, not being lazy, which is something that I've done over the past 5 years, so I can resonate with that. And then James, I learnt a lot more around being more voluminous, if you want to call that, with offers, like sending out more offers. We currently don't do anything publicly, which is crazy. We went away from that. We used to do that. So potentially finding a balance there, I think we'll come back with our business with that. And then with Darren, just the ability to put it all together. In terms of one thing from Darren, it would be more around like origin story. Yep. Currently, I don't think we have that clearly visible. So something I've noticed is like the way the Instagrams are. Our Instagram is just like reels. I don't know if that's good or bad, but and it seems like all your members are just like clear. 3-pin post, not many, and then reels are separate.
Yeah.
So that's something that I might look at doing as well.
I feel like it's going to be impossible for me to actually articulate this in a very short space of time. Every day it's been like fireworks going off in my brain. And for anyone who's listening to this, I actually came not knowing anything about the mastermind, anything about Darren, yourself, and I have genuinely been so impressed with everything that's learned and kind of what it's exposed me to. If I was to narrow it down into the main thing without going too much into my own business, is the amount of offers I can actually pull out of one individual product that I've got and how monetizable it is. And the thing that really stood out is gaining audience and attention is very, very hard in this day and age, and like creating leads. So how to monetize the income and the actual audience you've existingly got to increase LTV. I think that would have to be the standalone thing that I've certainly took away.
One of the biggest takeaways that I've had from the mastermind, actually I still have to process it because there's been so much information. I probably have like at least 10 pages of notes, and in order to just compile and process everything and then actually create a game plan moving forward. But I think the most useful thing is like there were certain decisions that I was going to make with regards to like how I was going to move forward with my business, because I thought that that was the way to go. And just like talking to like the industry leaders who are further ahead than me, I realized, oh wait, that's not the way to go. And if I had done that, it would have taken me further away from my goals. So coming to the mastermind is like, for one, it saved me a lot of time because it's just people who have already walked the road are like showing the way, they're outlining their process, what they've done, and it's like real life success. Like they're just telling literally what they have achieved to get the results that they have. So yeah, it's like completely invaluable to get information like that.
Clarity. I think all these professionals in one room, we all kind of know a lot of this stuff already, but it hasn't ever been condensed and put in such a clear way in terms of systems, infrastructure, frameworks. And yeah, just being here the last few days has just made so many things clear for me, which has been the biggest takeaway. And obviously some incredible insights, educational insights, just through people who've been there, done it. Hugely inspiring, hugely educational, and achievable. You know, it's like before this, you just think, oh, can I ever get to this point where I want to get to? And then you just be around people that have just do it in their sleep, kind of thing. So yeah, a lot of all that rolled into one. An amazing coffee as well this weekend by Yuri.
Biggest takeaway, I think, was James Kemp. Just a reminder that context, if your content doesn't have that, you don't have content. And for me, what I'm trying to do in the niche that I'm in, like to show, it doesn't need to be entrepreneurs, but most of my clients are, that the reason you get into business is for that family lifestyle and the freedom and how his non-negotiables. Without constraints, there's no creativity. That really stuck with me because I'm working 2 days a week at this. Everything he does is for the family, and he's probably the most embodied and quote-unquote material successful that I've met. So that really touched me yesterday.
Big one for me is just like knowing there's so many things to do, but putting them in sequence of like what's the most important, and then just actioning that rather than being overloaded with information, just like what's the next thing that's going to unlock everything else.
Big thing for me for masterminds is the energy of just being in the space. Like that alone, for some reason, just creates so much more intentionality around the things that we've got to action. And it's kind of, it's just like that focused time to step back and have a look at things.
Being around people who are also doing big things, it's really cool.
Yeah, and thank you for the energy you've both brought as well, with the breath work and your questions as well.
A lot of takeaways. I mean, number one, it's just good to be around other people, right? So I value masterminds because coaching programs are great. You learn stuff. And I learned a lot of stuff here too, but you're around other people and now you're feeding off that energy, right? And then you're learning stuff. You're learning from people's different takes. And then what you said about, the green flags and red flags from my ideal client, I was just thinking that, and feeding that in your marketing every day. It's the simple stuff, but it's just something that it's like the fundamentals that you forget doing, right? So obviously that attracts my ideal clients. I hate these people. These are my ideal people. And in the coaching calls as well, that's something that I know I should be doing more of, right? So praising clients when they do a good behavior. It's like, hey, so-and-so doing a good job, getting after it, going through the course material, practicing a lot, And then, just making that clear and then just having a good culture around it.
Yeah, I'll say like delegation mostly. Delegation and optimization right now. Well, I'm definitely doing a lot of scalable work right now. But what I realized at the end of the day, like hearing from like James Kemp or Laura, is that there's a lot of delegation that needs to be in place as I'm doing the unscalables. One thing that I'm probably going to do, I'm 100% going to do, is hire a CSM to really optimize my free school community, because right now it's making me a lot of money, but at the same time, it's just, I'm doing a lot of calls right now. So if I hire a CSM, put that energy back into, Lara was talking about LinkedIn, and there's a lot of demand in remote work, which I help, basically 9-to-5ers become high-ticket closers, remote sales reps. So if I can increase my TAM over in LinkedIn as well, I think that would be a good combo. So basically putting less time in my sales calls or putting less time in my client success role, but mostly now putting it back to marketing and phonetically just making offers to people.
I think for me personally is just on pricing. That's a huge unlock. So that's just something I can implement straight away. And then there's just so many different aspects, but you just focus on what's important to you at this moment in time and then just build from there.
Amazing.
So it's as complex as you want to make it, but then it's also as simple as you want to make it as well, and I think that's the key. But just being surrounded by there's some absolute legends everywhere, and it's just great to be around that, and hopefully a little bit of dust is sprinkled off. But no, it's super valuable.
I feel like it's really understanding like how to talk to your like ideal client, your avatar, your audience. Really getting dialed in. Obviously, my origin story has been a big opener for me. Understanding that it's just myself 5-10 years ago, and really dialing in the messaging and talking to their pain points of where they are now. And then something from you that I obviously took in today about the deliverables of just making the process, you're only future pacing them 2-4 weeks, a month ahead, and making those action steps as simple as possible for them to not get overwhelmed, so they actually enjoy the process, and then when they come to the calls they feel empowered to then show up obviously with the right mindset. From Lara, obviously again, like 95% on people on LinkedIn, they're not actually posting, so there's a blue ocean there. I feel like we sometimes get wrapped up like with that egotistic, LinkedIn is not really for me. But again, if there's people on there that are your ideal client, then you need to get on there. And then from James, I just feel like, you can just create an offer from anything. So having the different variety of different people speaking, open my mind up to like, you can just create an offer out of anything. And that's what I'm literally going to implement obviously today. We've already got an action step ready to go with that. And then, Darren, just the whole energy that he just brought to the last 3 days, I feel like he gives you that conviction to go away and actually implement it, not procrastinate, just do it. Whatever it is that you're like resisting, is like, you should be doing that. And that's what's really been a big eye-opener for me, of letting go from that particular role there and going all in on my own business, because that's what's going to actually serve my clients more and obviously my business.
Yeah, so obviously first time in Bali, first of all, so loved the experience in Bali. Known Darren for a lot of years actually, back since we were in like secondary school together, so there's been a lot of like personal connection, which has been amazing from that standpoint. I think my biggest takeaway from a business standpoint has been the confidence from both the guys' delivery in terms of like the group aspect, and actually the fact that I realised maybe giving too much to my clients was a disservice to them, and if you deliver too hard, you don't make them self-sufficient enough, and that can actually be a negative thing for them. So I think the eye-opener I've had with the group side of things.
Why should people come to this mastermind? What would you say to someone thinking about it?
I mean, look at this. I think, just being in the same room as people who are like doing the same thing, struggling with the same stuff, sharing ideas, like it just boosts your energy. It boosts how you feel and it boosts how you act. So what's not to like?
Find the money and invest. Seriously, like if you feel like that's too much or whatsoever, you have all the objectives, leave them behind, because this might be literally life-changing for you.
Just do it. Mikey, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, I think. Look, you can pontificate all you like with anything in life, right? You can pontificate. You can decide, should I do this? Should I do that? I think if you have the means to do it, you just get in the arena. There's no point, because the ROI you'll get off perhaps a single sentence, which is what we talked about this morning. Ironically, when I do coaching and speaking, quite often people just hang on a single sentence, and that's the thing that reverberates forever. If it unlocks greater value down the line, that's what you come for. You do it. And I think people take a very short-term approach in their mindset, like this is too much for me to invest right now. But if you kind of extend that over your lifetime, the ROI is huge.
With all these people who are here and the amount of followers that they have, or the amount of money that they've made in a month or in a year or whatever, and I am at the very, very bottom of that. I don't do anything. The amount that I've just said that I've learned in the last couple of days has been absolutely invaluable. So I think I would just 100% dive in and do it. It makes it hard at the start, I think, but like I've been mentored by you guys since November, and the belief that it instills in you by coming and learning all this stuff, the amount that you can learn in a few days is absolutely wild. So I'm on the upward trend from here, I think.
Yes, sir.
Ship it if you're in Bali. I don't know. Like, show up, smoke a cigar, you're good.
Well, it depends what you want to do. If you want to be around people who are better than you, if you want to be around people that know more than you, are more skilled, have more experience than you, then if you have the money, join. Personally, I'm very abundant in the way I think with this stuff. So I don't see downside, I only see upside. So I don't see the cost of this. I see what can I learn? Obviously, that's going to outweigh what I'm paying for this thing. So for me, that's how I communicate that to our members when we are, pushing someone to do something that's going to make them better. So if you don't want to be better, don't join, don't pay. But if you want to be better, pay. Because at the end of the day, the gap between what you are making now and what you could make is your ignorance debt or ignorance tax that Hormozy likes to say. And if that gap is 100 times what you're paying for this, then you're an idiot for not paying.
Yeah, so I have never been to any mastermind in my life, and I would highly recommend. I think for me, obviously I've not made a return on investment just yet, but I know that this is probably going to be one of the highest ROI activities that I've probably done in my life. Like, I know from what I'm going to take away from this in the months, the years to come, it is, it's going to be invaluable. So if anyone is on the fence, I think you can't underestimate not just the knowledge that you gain from yourself and Darren, but just being immersed in an environment of people. Because, we're not all in a lucky or fortunate position to be surrounded by people who generally push us forward in terms of where we are at life. So I think having that experience and that exposure and that injection of energy, I don't think you can put a price on that.
Be aware of where you are in your business, because like, for example, like the people coming here, they're all at like a similar stage in their business. So what's awesome is not only are they getting so much information from the speakers, but also like sharing the problems amongst themselves, because some of them, even like the attendees, they've solved a problem that someone else is struggling with. So, someone might be struggling with sales. They have like someone who's an expert in sales here. And so just like the commingling of ideas and also learning from the speakers is so valuable. And it's like, if you're at a certain stage in your business, it's so intensely valuable to be part of it.
It's 2.5, 3 days of information that you might spend minimum 1 to 5 years trying to find out yourself, right, wrapped up into one. So it's, if you want proximity and speed, it's a no-brainer. But I would say if you do come, and if when I come again, I want to be much clearer in my pain points, those things that I want fixed immediately, as well as what's going well. I think there's, we started this weekend, Darren started this weekend as kind of what's not going so well and what's going so well, and I was a little bit like, just again, that clarity perspective. But yeah, man, like the amount of information and takeaways just in such a condensed period has been mind-blowingly useful. Yeah.
If you want to be around people who are doing big things, like, it's going to help you massively, so get around it.
I'd say one of the biggest things that have been pivotal and like the catalyst to my growth and the success that I've created has been events, live events. So being in person, doing the work. So yeah.
No, it's great. I mean, I'm grateful that I got this invitation. Obviously, it's kind of like a spontaneous trip, but everybody's great. Your entire team over delivering. Love Piyush, Darren, everybody here. So it's a good trip. Meet more people, network.
I'll say definitely join in. It's not only just about the knowledge that you get, but I haven't seen a team. So Darren built a really good team. Like, you're one of the teammates as well. Crucial part. The cameraman and Piyush? Yeah. Like, everyone seems so happy. Everyone seems so passionate. For example, I'm also giving you guys videos to edit, and I've gone through 7 content agencies before you guys. Fucked me over like the thumbnails, it took forever, right? The videos, they don't even check the audio sync, even the most basics like typo everywhere. But when I was like talking with you guys not only edited my videos, but remember every single detail of the videos that you guys are editing. Like, you guys watched my whole entire video, you guys remember, hey, you were talking about objection prevention over there. Like, you were talking about this. Like, you remember my terminology, you understand how my offer works, you understand the ecosystem that I built as well. So it's like, you guys go the extra mile, definitely, for sure. And I can see why, because the team is basically consists of passionate people that are towards Darren's vision, and Voice vision.
Yeah, obviously just do it. Don't think about it. Do it. There's so much information and implementation, and then it's on you to integrate it all. But it's invaluable. Also in terms of the connections you make as well.
Yeah, I would say just come, because you just don't know what you don't know. And also, it's not just the mastermind, it's the connections that you make, which lead to another connection. You get to be in an incredible place like this, which it kind of shifts your mindset of like, well, look, this is what's possible if you actually go and do the work. If you're procrastinating of whether you feel it is the right decision, then it probably is the right decision to just do it.
What you can learn from an event like this can 5x, 10x. Like there's actually not a limit on like the amount of unlocks you can have, not just from like a business standpoint, but just a personal and a belief standpoint. I think when you can hear what people are doing and you can speak to them and just realize they're actually normal people, but they just have obviously the skill set, but a mindset of like belief. Being around those people, being in that environment, it's next level. So yeah, if like, I think a lot of people watching it, sometimes your own environment might not be where you want it to be. Also, you might be in a bit of a lonely chapter where you're trying to progress, you're trying to be a better person, but maybe the people around you, family, friends, don't really get it. These people get it. Like coming to events like that, these people get it. So yeah, it's about you making a new community for yourself, and no better place.